Hello champions, how are you doing? Today I'm going to introduce you a very important tactical pattern which can happen a lot in your games. This position happened very recently in Carlsen Invitational Radjabov-Vachier game. The position is around equal, however black has a little bit advantage because their pawns on e5 and f5 are better than this e3 and f2. At some point e4 is coming, but with correct play white should not lose the game. What happened in the game? Here Radjabov decided to exchange the rooks and played rook d8 and now rook d1. What do you think about this move? Are you free to pause the video, think a bit, and then we go ahead. Okay, at first glance looks nothing bad what white is trying to do. They want to exchange the rooks, and also because the e5 pawn might hang, black queen cannot actively fight for the d-line because at the same time it's the defender of e5 pawn. However, here Radjabov missed a typical pattern. Vachier, also known as MVL, hit the rook d1, and after queen d1, e4. Now, with playing e4, black attacks the c3 bishop and at the same time the f3 knight. So knight cannot move because black will take the c3. And after bishop g7, instead of taking the g7, black intermediately takes on f3. And after ef3, now both bishop hangs. White lost a piece and then the game. This is a very important pattern, e4 move. This move you can use a lot in your games, and also you should be aware of that, so you avoid it. Today I will show you many examples about this topic. Let's go one by one. A typical position from Sicilian, and here is coming the typical pattern. White plays here e5, attacking the b7 bishop and also the f6 knight. If black takes here d5 at the same time attacking the d4, and after bishop b7 try to play rook a7, now bishop on b7 and the d4 knight hangs. However, after bishop c6 check, king f8, knight db5, white is going to stay pawn up in the queen side and with a winning game. And after e5, if bishop g2, white takes ef6. Now this two bishop hangs. And after bishop f1, instead of taking on f1, here white takes on e7, intermediate move, attacking the queen. And after queen e7, queen f1, white won material. They gave up the rook and the pawn, and winning opponent's 2 pieces. Another example. White to move, what to do? Are you free to pause the video and think? Okay, we go f4, attacking the knight, and e5, bishop on c6, and the f6 knight hangs. After bishop g2, ef6, now bishop on g7 and bishop on g2 hangs. After bishop f1, fg7. So this variation would not work if black's rook was on e8. But now, after fg7, the rook on f8 also hangs. After king g7, rook f1, white is material up. White to move, what to do? Okay, if you said e5, you are not very careful because the knight on c5 is defending the bishop on b7. But if you said bishop c5, it's very cool. At first, white take out from the board the defender of the bishop on b7, and after bc5 or dc5, it's gonna happen the same tactic. e5, after bishop g2, ef6, bishops hangs. And here, after bishop f1, fg7, white is winning material, f8 rook, and f1 bishop hangs. It's black to move. What to play? Yeah, we go e4, attacking the bishop on c3 and the d3 knight. After bishop g7, ed3, bishop f8, d2. Again, it's very important. If the rook was somewhere else, this tactic would not work. But now, because the rook on f1 also hangs, here black won material. What do you think here? Can white play here e5 or not? I free to pause the video and think. Okay, in this case e5 doesn't work, because after bishop g2, ef6. Here, after bishop f1, the queen hangs for white, and white doesn't have time to take fg7. And this tactic doesn't work for white. So with playing such moves like e5 and then calculating such variations, we should be very precise in our calculation. One more example. White to move. Can they play here d5 or not? Please pause the video and think. Okay, we cannot play d5 because after bishop b2, dc6. Now when both bishop hangs, this tactic would work if our king was on h1. But in this case, black has intermediate check from d4. Bishop d4 checking h1, bishop c6, and now black is pawn up. Another one. Can white play here e5 or not? No, they cannot play e5 because after bishop g2, ef6, bishop f1 comes with a check. Okay, champions, it doesn't mean that always such a tactic will work. Be careful in your calculation. Now let's see this same pattern a little bit different way. White to play, what to do? Okay, if you say d4, it's great. After d4, bishop on f5 and the bishop on c5 hangs. And after bishop c2, we take dc5, bishop c2 hangs, and also the b6 knight. White wins a piece. White to play. Can we play here d6 or not? You can pause the video and think. Okay, we can play d6. Here, if the knight was on e3, this would not work, because black would take queen d6, and if the knight was on e3, there would be queen h2 threat. But now, because the knight is on f3, it's defending the h2 square, and we can take bishop f7. And after d6, if bishop b3, then dc7 intermediate move, taking the bishop and attacking the queen. And now also the bishop on b3 hangs. This is the last position from today's lesson, and it's gonna be your homework. You need to calculate if here d5 move works or not. Last time I am reminding you, be careful about such tactics, and you should know that you should calculate precisely. If it works, often you will stay piece down, but if you calculate wrong, unfortunately you will stay piece down. Post your answers about the d5 move, it works or not, in the comments section, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next daily lessons. If you are watching these videos, you are liking them, but you are not subscribed to our channel, I will find you and sue you. Okay, joking. See you very soon.